Okay. All right, welcome back to the Now Morning Show here on TTT. I am Natalie Lagora, and in studio with me at this time is the president of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Services Social and Welfare Association, ASP Gideon Dixon. And he's here to talk to us about what the Commissioner of Police said right here on the Now Morning Show on TTT, which is that he's asking for legislative changes so that errant police officers who abuse their power, can pay instead of the state. Good morning to you, Mr. Dixon.
Good morning, Ms. Legore. Good morning, all your viewers and Now Morning Show. It's a pleasure to be in here.
Don't come late to my interview again, eh? You know me by now.
I'll try my best.
All right, sir. All right.
I apologize.
So what did you make of the fact when you heard the Commissioner of Police calling for a review of the State Liability and Proceedings Act?
From the association perspective, we believe that it is not a move that we will support. We will not support it at all.
Why not?
More or less because we are civil servants like the rest of Trinidad and Tobago, and if that is to be done for the police, it shouldn't be limited to the police only. It should be across the board. So all civil servants, be it a doctor, a lawyer, a magistrate, a politician.
So if it is that the government was to say that they were going to roll this out for everybody, the police service would support it now?
Well, then, if the government says that, if there is a law, and we are the enforcer of the law, then we have to go to what the law says.
But there is a law. It's just that the law of State Liability and Proceedings Act. There is a law. Why shouldn't the police service fall under it? And this is for negligent act, eh?
And the police falls under it, and that is what we are saying. So the law is there to protect the police officers and protect all civil servants. So in terms of making representation to have it removed, especially for police in the negligent behavior, we are saying that there is a process which already the police applies to. So if a police is found negligent, we have a disciplinary process to which at maximum a person could be dismissed from the organization. So we have that in place already.
But we see that, I don't think that's working, to be honest with you, because the reality is what the commissioner especially seemed to have been looking at here. I think the example he gave me was, you know, of course, with the vehicles and police officers just being irresponsible with taxpayers' money through the vehicles.
How much data you have in relation to officers being errant with that?
I don't have data outside of what they shared with us. Was that the state paid out $5 million between 2015 to 2018 in the police service for those kind of damages.
I don't have that data, but what I can simply say to you is that even as of the Friday last year, a police vehicle was involved in an accident, right? The police officers would have responded to a crime which occurred with a victim, taking the victim who suffered injuries to the hospital. In so doing, a red light had to be run. A red light was run, accident occurred. The victim, the police, the driver of the other vehicle would have suffered injuries. Now there's a process by which you determine whether the officer was in fact wrong, would have been negligent. Are you saying that officers who are in the effort to save the life of the people who we serve should in fact pay out of their pocket when you would have submitted yourself?
I think you're playing semantics with me.
I'm not playing semantics,
Dixon, because we have been talking about it here. You just established to me that we're going to be looking at whether or not the police officer is wrong. If we establish that the police officer is wrong, why is the association against the police officer being held accountable?
We are saying held accountable. You are saying the officer must pay out of their pocket.
Yeah, but isn't that a part of accountability? Why should we then, as taxpayers, pay for a vehicle? And let's use the vehicle that's damaged, because I think that's the example that the commissioner had used. And he gave example of, you know, 2 brand new vehicles that were totaled, written off by officers literally speeding, racing each other. Is that what the taxpayer deserves? Let's look at it from the taxpayer's perspective. Should we have to pay to repair those vehicles when police officers, when it's been established that they were just being negligent and reckless?
Okay. Are police officers taxpayers?
Yes, they are.
Right. So all of us are taxpayers. And we are saying that unless the due process occurs where a person is found negligent, and then upon that, the magistrate or the judge rule in relation to what takes place, we support the due process because...
But you don't want them to pay. You don't want them to pay for the damage of the vehicle.
They did not leave home and just go and take up a police vehicle and operate it on their own accord.
No, but we've seen that. Come on, ASP Dixon, man. We've seen police officers use the vehicles for reasons that, for ways in which it wasn't intended. Right. I don't want you to play semantics with me because you and I live in the same society. So you and I know that while you may have 90% of officers who do the right thing because it's the right thing to do, let us talk about that 10%. Shouldn't they pay for the vehicles that they damage once they've been found negligent or reckless?
Right. So again, our position is across the board, anyone who are civil servants who are found negligent based on a due process should pay.
So why didn't you...
We are not limiting it to police and making police a soft target because all
why is it a soft target? What about setting the standard? What about starting with police officers? Because one, you all are in the limelight. Two, we see all the crap that happens. We see the good, but we also see the bad. And here it is that even this accident that happened, you have eyewitnesses who are saying there was no siren. So let's say the police officer is rushing to save somebody's life or is rushing to do something, but they didn't follow due process. Why shouldn't they pay?
Right. Again, Ms. Ligo.
And they well might have cost some lives in that accident as well.
And you are saying the police officer should pay. The police officer left his home and is a servant of the state. The police officer was signed to drive and was instructed to go out and save lives. The police officer was doing that on behalf of the state, not on behalf of himself. So we are saying, simply put, once the officer is operating on behalf of the state, he ought not to pay from his pocket. If he did it on his own accord, then he should, in fact, and if found negligent, pay for his mistakes.
So you're saying to me, I don't know that I agree with you in an ASP dictionary.
But we can agree to disagree.
Yes, I can't say that I agree with you because for me...
You know, there's other things that goes with that, right? I just want to understand this. We often look at what takes place in other jurisdictions and we want to import it into Trinidad and Tobago. But in other jurisdictions which have best practice, there are also systems in place that would bring, at the end of the day, when you do the justification, you would see that there was training in place, there was recertification in place, there was the opportunity for the officer to
So you're saying those don't exist here?
Those don't exist here. So we can't just look at it from a symptomatic perspective. We have to look at the entire picture before we come to any conclusion.
So you're saying officers aren't trained how to drive, they aren't trained how to respond to a crime?
I entered the organization in 1994, the 1st of July 1994. I did my driving course somewhere between 1994 and the year 2000. I did my driving course. I have never been sent back to the driving school to do a recertification course.
So aren't these things that you should be asking for then? Instead of taking the approach to say, listen, no, we are here acting on behalf of the state, therefore we're not paying anything. How about saying, well, Commissioner, there's nothing wrong with this, but before you can implement this, let us look at the other shortfals and fix them. But would you support it if the training that you're talking about is there?
We, the association, are here to ensure that the police officers' welfare in fact protected. Now, in terms of training, we are saying that must go with it, because even in all our arguments, we are saying that it cannot be just you make the police a soft target without looking at all the other things that will in fact impact upon him performing his duty at a higher level. Right? So that is our position in relation to...
That's not what you started and tell me now. If you spoke about soft targets, you spoke about soft targets in the sense that, you know, don't make scapegoat of police officers. If you're going to do it for all civil servants, then let's do it for all civil servants. All right, so can I implore you to say, okay, to change the tune of the association and to say, listen, if you treat with these things, you can start with police officers to hold them responsible. Notice what I said and what the commissioner said, when they're negligent, when they're irresponsible, when they're reckless. You're not charging them when they're doing their duty and doing their duty according to how they're supposed to.
Police officers are not above the law.
Do you believe all police officers...
We are enforcers of the law.
Do you believe all police officers understand that?
If I believe so,
yeah.
I believe all police officers understand that, especially the professional ones. Especially the professional ones.
You believe all police officers? I don't think so. I am fed up of seeing police officers. I'll be in the traffic, three of them in the vehicle, and I have to be like, Kiki, put on your mask! Put on your mask! Why?
I want to apologize for that. However, I'm simply saying that officers, by and large, the greater percentage are in fact law-abiding, professional, and enforce the law.
And I agree with you. And that's why I said to you the 10%. I said to you the 10%. Why can't we hold that 10% who is reckless, irresponsible, unethical, negligent, be using police vehicles? So sign out, sign out to go and do a job, but we'll go and do something else. We know that these things happen.
Right.
If we're not willing, acting superintendent, if we're not willing to admit what is going on in the police service, we'll never get to what you're talking about, which is improving the training, because we won't even admit that we have a problem.
Right, and I'm saying that we have a problem. And I'm saying that in order to fix the problem, you don't deal from the symptomatic response that is outside there. You fix the problem from the inside. So the cause...
So you don't believe this commissioner is trying to fix those problems? Because I know that they're training people in customer service. I know that they've tried to bring in units, give them training for the various things that they're trying to do, put in the polygraph testing so that you can know if what police officers are willing to do their jobs and stuff. You don't believe this is trying to get things better?
And we support the commissioner's efforts to try to improve the TTPS.
Well, you think it's improving, and that's what I'm asking you. Don't play semantics with me. Do you believe that it's improving?
The service has been improving. The data show that the service has been improving. Even in our customer service survey, we have been improving, and there's more room for improvement. But as you speak about polygraph, we don't support the polygraph testing, the association. Let me just put it on. Well, then, if we want to go with the polygraph, which is not 100% scientific, then we shouldn't have the courthouse. Everybody who is charged, we should just put them on a polygraph.
No, but you can't say that. The thing is that you need every bit and piece to put together for the holistic picture.
And that is our whole point. That is all. You are reinforcing my point there.
No, but you say you shouldn't go to the courthouse if you have the polygraph. I don't agree. I agree that the polygraph is one part of it and the courthouse is one part of it. Half of you not even showing up for your own cases.
Ma'am, you speak about half of us. I will simply say, I am a complainant in a matter that has been around since 2006. We're in 2021. We're in 2021. Are you saying that when the matter called and I would have appeared over the last almost 14, 15 years, that I, the professional officer, did not do what I supposed to do?
Yeah, but your example is different from those who just don't show up.
No,
you know, I don't think we should even.
And again, you're talking
about the judiciary lagging, which we know, and I will agree with you.
Right. Okay.
I will definitely agree with you. I don't think there's anybody in this country who can say that this judiciary has its act together. Things take too long to move. So you and I agree with there, but that's different from the judiciary lagging behind to get your case heard compared to the police officer whose case is called and he doesn't show up. Two different things completely.
By and large, officers show up for court. By and large, there will be opportunities. There will be time.
So you and we have to go do this again. Inspector, we are way out of time.
We must.
And next time, come early so that we can do the thing, no man. Because we have to get through it. You and I have to get through this 10%
I need to get a siren
of
on my vehicle. I need to get a siren on my vehicle to get you.
No, don't do that, because you don't want me to go on your case, you know. All right, ASP Dixon, thank you so much, but we do have to leave it there. We'll catch up.
No problem.
All right, ASP Dixon talking to us there about the plans of the Commission of Police to get legislative changes so that errant police officers can pay for their wrongdoings. We take a break and we'll be back with you.
Rough up your daughter and your wife, and you better don't try to fight, 'cause I am your friendly neighborhood